my dear students. Welcome to Teacher at Home. Today class we are studying the chapter 22, Chemical Coordination and Integration. You have already learned that the neural system provides a point-to-point rapid coordination among organs. The neural coordination is fast but short-lived, as the nerve fibers do not innervate all cells of the body, and the cellular function need to be continuously regulated. Special kind of coordination and integration has to be provided. This function is carried out by what we call as hormones. The neural system and the endocrine system jointly coordinate and regulate the physiological functions of the body. So here important word is hormones. Endocrine gland and hormones. Endocrine gland lack ducts and hence called ductile glands. So the endocrine gland which lack ducts and known as ductile glands, the secretions are called hormones. The classical definition of hormone as a chemical produced by endocrine glands and released into the blood and transported to a distinctly located target organ has current scientific definition as follows. Hormones are non-nutrition chemicals which act as intracellular messengers and are produced in trace amounts. The new definition covers a number of new molecules in addition to the hormones secreted by the organized endocrine glands. Invertebrates possess very small endocrine system with few hormones, whereas the large number of chemicals act as hormones and provide coordination in the vertebrates. Human endocrine system is described here. See here the picture. It is the hypothalamus, pineal, pituitary, thyroid and parathyroid, thymus, pancreas, adrenal, ovary in female and testis in male. Human endocrine system. The endocrine glands and hormone producing diffused tissues and cells located in different parts of our body constitute the endocrine system. Pituitary, pineal, thyroid, adrenal, pancreas, parathyroid, thymus and gonads are the organized endocrine bodies in our body. In addition to this, some other organs, gastrointestinal tract, liver, kidney, heart, also produce hormones. A brief account of the structure and function of all major endocrine glands and hypothalamus of the human body is given in the following excretion. The hypothalamus. As you know, the hypothalamus is the basal part of the diencephalon forebrain and it regulates a wide spectrum of body functions. It contains several groups of neurosecretory cells called nuclei which produce hormones. These hormones regulate the synthesis and secretion of pituitary hormones. However, the hormone produced by the hypothalamus are of two types. The releasing hormones, which stimulate secretion of pituitary hormones, and the inhibiting hormone, which inhibits secretions of pituitary hormones. For example, a hypothalamic hormone called gonadotropin releasing hormone GRH stimulates the pituitary synthesis and release of gonadotropins. On the other hand, somatostatin from the hypothalamus inhibits the release of growth hormone from the pituitary. These hormones, originating in the hypothalamus neuron, pass through axons and are released from the nerve endings. These hormones reach the pituitary gland through a portal circulatory system and regulate the functions of the anterior pituitary. The posterior pituitary is under the direct neural regulation of the hypothalamus. The pituitary gland. The pituitary gland is located in a bony cavity called sella turcica and is attached to the hypothalamus by a stalk. It is divided anatomically into an adenohypophysis and a neurohypophysis. Adenohypophysis consists of two portions, pars distalis and pars intermedia. The pars distalis region of pituitary, commonly called anterior pituitary, produces growth hormone GH, prolactin PRL, thyroid stimulating hormone TSH, adrenocorticotropic hormone ACTH, luteinizing hormone LH, follicle stimulating hormone FSH. Pars intermediate secretes only one hormone, called melanocyte-stimulating hormone (MSH). However, in humans, the pars intermedia is almost merged with pars distalis. Neurohypophysis, also known as posterior pituitary, stores and releases two hormones called oxytocin and vasopressin, which are actually synthesized by the hypothalamus and are transported externally to neurohypophysis. Oversecretion of GH stimulates abnormal growth of the body leading to gigantism, and low secretion of GH results in stunted growth resulting in pituitary dwarfism. Excess secretion of growth hormone in adults, especially in the middle age, can result in severe disfigurement, especially of the face called acromegaly, which may lead to serious complications and premature death if unchecked. The disease is hard to diagnose in the early stages and often goes undetected for many years until changes in external features become noticeable. Prolactin regulates the growth of the mammary glands and formation of milk in them. TSH stimulates the synthesis and secretion of thyroid hormones from the thyroid gland. ACTH stimulates the synthesis and secretion of steroid hormones called glucocorticoids from the adrenal cortex. LH and FSH stimulate gonadal activity and hence are called gonadotropins. In males, LH stimulates the synthesis and secretion of hormones called androgens from testes. In males, FSH and androgens regulate spermatogenesis. In females, LH induces ovulation of fully mature follicles, Graafian follicles, and maintains the corpus luteum formed from the remnants of the Graafian follicles. Here is a picture showing hypothalamus, hypothalamic neurons, it's not hypothalamus, portion. Okay, portal circulation, anterior pituitary, posterior pituitary. That is remnants of the Graafian follicles after ovulation. FSH stimulates growth and development of the ovarian follicles in females. MSH acts on the melanocyte, stimulating melanin containing cells and regulates pigmentation of the skin. Oxytocin acts on the smooth muscles of a body and stimulates their contraction. In females, it stimulates the vigorous contraction of uterus at the time of childbirth and milk ejection from the mammary gland. Vasopressin acts mainly at the kidney and stimulates reabsorption of water and electrolytes by the distal tubules and thereby reduces loss of water through urine, that is diuresis. Hence, it is also called as antidiuretic hormone. An impairment affecting synthesis of release of ADH results in diminished ability of the kidney to conserve water, leading to water loss and dehydration. This condition is known as diabetes insipidus. The pineal gland. The pineal gland is located on the dorsal side of the forebrain. Pineal secretes a hormone called melatonin. Melatonin plays a very important role in the regulation of a 24-hour rhythm of our body. For example, it helps in the maintaining the normal rhythms of sleep-wake cycle, body temperature. In addition, melatonin also influences metabolism, pigmentation, the menstrual cycle, as well as our defense capability. Thyroid gland. The thyroid gland is composed of two lobes which are located on either side of the trachea. Both the lobes are interconnected with a thin flap of connective tissue called isthmus. The thyroid gland is composed of follicles and stromal tissues. Each thyroid follicle is composed of follicular cells enclosing a cavity. This follicular cell synthesizes two hormones, tetraiodothyronine or thyroxine and triiodothyronine. Iodine is essential for the normal rate of hormone synthesis in the thyroid. Deficiency of iodine in our diet results in hypothyroidism and enlargement of the thyroid gland, commonly called goiter. Hypothyroidism during pregnancy causes defective development and maturation of the growing baby, leading to the stunted growth. Cretinism, mental retardation, low intelligence quotient, abnormal skin, defense mutism, etc. In adult women, hypothyroidism may cause menstrual cycle to become irregular. Due to the cancer of the thyroid gland or due to the development of nodules of the thyroid gland, the rate of synthesis and secretion of the thyroid hormone is increased to abnormal high levels, leading to a condition called hyperthyroidism, which adversely affects the body physiology. Exothalamic goiter is a form of hypothyroidism characterized by enlargement of the thyroid gland, protrusion of the eyeballs, increased basal metabolic rate, and weight loss, also called Graves' disease. Thyroid hormones play an important role in the regulation of the basal metabolic rate. These hormones also support the process of red blood cell formation. Thyroid hormone control the metabolism of carbohydrate, protein, and fat. Maintenance of water and electrolyte balance is also influenced by thyroid hormones. Thyroid gland also secrete a protein hormone called thyrocalcitonin (TCT), which regulates the blood calcium levels. Parathyroid gland. In humans, 4 parathyroid glands are present on the backside of the thyroid gland, one pair each in 2 lobes of the thyroid gland. The parathyroid gland secrete a peptide hormone called parathyroid hormone. Secretion of PTH is regulated by the circulating levels of calcium ions. Parathyroid hormone (PTH) increases the calcium levels in the blood. PTH acts on bones and stimulates the process of bone reabsorption, dissolution, demineralization. PTH also stimulates reabsorption of calcium by the renal tubules and increases calcium absorption from the digested food. It is thus clear that PTH is a hyperkalemic hormone. It increases the blood calcium levels. Along with TCT, it plays a significant role in calcium balance in the body. Thymus. Thymus gland is a lobular structure located between the lungs behind sternum on the ventral side of aorta. Thymus play a major role in the development of the immune system. This gland secretes the peptide hormone called thymosins. Thymosin play a major role in the differentiation of T lymphocyte, which provides cell-mediated immunity. In addition, thymosin also promote production of antibodies to provide humoral immunity. Thymus is generated in old individuals, resulting in a decreased production of thymosin. As a result, the immune responses of all persons become weak. Adrenal gland. Our body has one pair of adrenal gland, one of the anterior part of each kidney. The gland is composed of 2 types of tissues. The centrally located tissue is called adrenal medulla, and outside this lies the adrenal cortex. Underproduction of hormones by the adrenal cortex alters carbohydrate metabolism, causing acute weakness and fatigue, leading to a disease called Addison's disease. Adrenal medulla secrete 2 hormones called adrenaline or epinephrine and noradrenaline or norepinephrine. These are commonly called the catecholamines. Adrenaline and noradrenaline are rapidly secreted in response to stress of any kind and during emergency situations and are called emergency hormones or hormones of fight or flight. These hormones increases alertness, pupillary dilation, piloerection, raising of hairs, sweating, etc. Both the hormone increases the heartbeat, a strength of heart contraction, and rate of respiration. Catecholamines also stimulate the breakdown of glycogen, resulting in an increased concentration of glucose in blood. In addition, they also stimulate the breakdown of lipids and proteins. Adrenal cortex can be divided into 3 layers called zona reticularis, zona fasciculata, and zona glomerulosa. Adrenal cortex secrete many hormones, commonly called the corticoids. Corticoids, which are involved in the carbohydrate metabolism, are called glucocorticoids. In our body, cortisol is the main glucocorticoid. Corticoids, which regulate the balance of water and electrolytes in our body, are called mineralocorticoids. Aldosterone is the main mineralocorticoid in our body. Glucocorticoids stimulate gluconeogenesis, lipolysis and proteolysis, and inhibit cellular uptake and utilization of amino acids. Cortisol is also involved in maintaining the cardiovascular system as well as the kidney functions. Glucocorticoids, particularly cortisol, produces anti-inflammatory reactions and suppresses the immune response. cortisol stimulates RBC production. Aldosterone acts mainly at the renal tubules and stimulates the reabsorption of sodium and water and excretion of potassium and phosphate ions. Thus, aldosterone helps in the maintenance of electrolytes, body fluid volume, osmotic pressure and blood pressure, small amounts of androgenic steroids, and also secreted by the adrenal cortex, which play a role in the growth of axial hair, pubic hair, and facial hair during puberty. Pancreas. Pancreas is a composite gland which acts as a both exocrine and endocrine gland. Endocrine pancreas consists of islets of Langerhans. There are about 1 to 2 million islets of Langerhans in a normal human pancreas, representing only 1 to 2% of the pancreatic tissue. The two main types of cells in the islets of Langerhans are called alpha cells and beta cells. Alpha cells secrete a hormone called glucagon, while the beta cells secrete insulin. Glucagon is a peptide hormone and play an important role in maintaining the normal blood glucose levels. Glucagon acts mainly on the liver cells, hepatocytes, and stimulate glycogenolysis, resulting in increased blood sugar, hyperglycemia. In addition, this hormone stimulates the process of gluconeogenesis, which also contribute to hyperglycemia. Glucagon reduces the cellular glucose uptake and utilization. Thus, glucagon is a hyperglycemic hormone. Insulin is a peptide hormone which play a major role in the regulation of glucose homeostasis. Insulin acts mainly on hepatocytes and adipocytes, cells of adipose tissue, and enhances cellular glucose uptake and utilization. As a result, there is a rapid movement of glucose from blood to hepatocytes and adipocytes, resulting in decreased blood glucose level, that is hypoglycemia. Insulin also stimulates conversion of glucose to glycogen, that is glycogenesis, in the target cells. The glucose homeostasis in blood is thus maintained jointly by the two insulin and glucagons. Prolonged hyperglycemia leads to a complex disorder called diabetes mellitus. It is associated with loss of glucose through urine and formation of harmful compounds known as ketone bodies. Diabetic patients are successfully treated with insulin therapy. Next is testis. A pair of testes is present in the scrotal sac outside abdomen of male individuals. Testis perform dual functions as a primary sex organ as well as an endocrine gland. Testis is composed of seminiferous tubules and stromal or intestinal tissue. The Leydig cells or interstitial cells, which are present in the intertubular spaces, produce a group of hormones called androgens, mainly testosterone. Androgens regulate the development, maturation, and function of male accessory sex organs like epididymis, vas deferens, seminal vesicles, prostate gland, urethra, etc. These hormones stimulate muscular growth, growth of facial and axillary hair, aggressiveness, low pitch of voice, etc. Androgens play a major stimulatory role in the process of spermatogenesis, formation of spermatozoa. Androgens acts on the central neural system and influence the male sexual behavior, libido. These hormones produces anabolic effects on protein and carbohydrate metabolism. Ovary. Females have a pair of ovary that is isolated in the abdomen. Ovary is the primary female sex organ which produces one ovum during each menstrual cycle. In addition, ovary also produces two groups of steroid hormones called estrogen and progesterone. Ovary is composed of ovarian follicles and stromal tissue. Estrogen is synthesized and secreted mainly by the growing ovarian follicles. After ovulation, the ruptured follicle is converted to a structure called corpus luteum, which secretes mainly progesterone. Estrogens produce wide-ranging actions such as stimulation of growth and activities of female secondary sex organs, development of growing ovarian follicles, appearance of female secondary sex characters, mammary gland development. Estrogens also regulate female sexual behavior. Progesterone supports pregnancy. Progesterone also acts on the mammary glands and stimulates the formation of alveoli, sac-like structure which store milk and secrete milk. Hormones of heart, kidney, and gastrointestinal tract. Now you know about the endocrine gland and the hormones. However, as mentioned earlier, hormones are also secreted by some tissues which are not endocrine glands. For example, the arterial wall of our heart secretes a very important peptide hormone called arterial natriuretic factor, which decreases blood pressure. When blood pressure is increased, enough is secreted which causes dilation of the blood vessels. This reduces the blood pressure. The juxtaglomerular cells of kidney produce a peptide hormone called erythropoietin, which stimulates erythropoiesis. Endocrine cells present in different parts of the gastrointestinal tract secrete four major peptide hormones, namely gastrin, secretin, cholecystokinin, and gastric inhibitory peptide. Gastrin acts on the gastric glands and stimulates the secretion of hydrochloric acid and pepsinogen. Secretin acts on the exocrine pancreas and stimulates secretion of water and bicarbonate ions. CCK acts on both pancreas and gallbladder and stimulates the secretion of pancreatic enzyme and bile juice. GIP inhibits gastric secretion and motility. Several other non-endocrine tissues secrete hormone called growth factors. These factors are essential for the normal growth of tissues and their repairing or regeneration. Mechanism of hormone action. Hormone produce their effects on target tissues by binding to specific proteins called hormone receptors. It is located in the target tissues only. Hormone receptors present on the cell membrane of the target cells are called membrane-bound receptors, and the receptors present inside the target cell are called intracellular receptors, mostly nuclear receptors present in the nucleus. Binding of a hormone to its receptor lead to the formation of a hormone receptor complex. Each receptor is specific to one hormone only, and hence receptors are specific. Hormone receptor complex formation lead to certain biochemical changes in the target tissue. Target tissue metabolism and hence physiological functions are regulated by hormones. On the basis of their chemical nature, hormones can be divided into groups: peptide, polypeptide, protein hormones, insulin, glucagon, pituitary hormones, hypothalamic hormones, steroids, cortisol, testosterone, estradiol, and progesterone, iodothyronine, thyroid hormones, amino acid derivatives, epinephrine. Hormones which interact with membrane-bound receptors normally do not enter the target cell but generate second messengers, cyclic AMP, IP3, and calcium, which in turn regulate cellular metabolism. Hormones which interact with intercellular receptors, steroid hormones, iodothyronines, etc., mostly regulate gene expression or chromosome function by the interaction of hormone receptor complex with the genome. Cumulative biochemical actions result in physiological and developmental effects. Hormone FSH receptor, ovarian cell membrane, generation of second messenger, cyclic AMP or calcium, biochemical responses, physiological responses. Uterine cell membrane, hormone estrogen, hormone receptor complex, nucleus, genome, mRNA, proteins, physiological responses. Last is about the summary of this chapter. So summary, there are special chemicals which act as hormones and provide chemical coordination, integration, and regulation in the human body. These hormones regulate metabolism, growth, and development of our organs. Endocrine glands of certain cells, endocrine system is composed of hypothalamus, pituitary, and pineal. thyroid, adrenal, pancreas, parathyroid, thymus, and gonads. In addition to these, some other organs, gastrointestinal tract, kidney, heart, also produce hormones. Pituitary gland is divided into three major parts, which are called as pars distalis, pars intermedia, and pars nervosa. Pars distalis produces six tropic hormones. Pars intermedia secretes only one hormone, while pars nervosa secrete two hormones. Pituitary hormone regulate the growth and development of somatic tissues and activities of peripheral endocrine glands. Pineal glands secrete melatonin, which play an important role in the regulation of 24-hour rhythm of our body. The thyroid gland hormone play an important role in the regulation of the basal metabolic rate, development and maturation of the central nervous system, erythropoiesis, metabolism of carbohydrate, protein, fat, menstrual cycle. Another thyroid hormone. Thyrocalcitonin regulates calcium levels in our body by decreasing it. The parathyroid glands secrete parathyroid hormone, which increases the blood calcium levels and play a major role in the calcium homeostasis. Thymus glands secrete thymosin, which play a major role in the differentiation of T lymphocyte, which provides cell-mediated immunity. In addition, thymosin also increases the production of antibodies to provide humoral immunity. The adrenal gland is composed of centrally located adrenal medulla and the outer adrenal cortex. Adrenal medulla secretes epinephrine and norepinephrine. This hormone increases alertness, puberty dilation, piloerection, sweating, heartbeat, strength of heart contraction, rate of respiration, glycogenolysis, lipolysis, proteolysis. Adrenal cortex secrete glucocorticoid, mineralocorticoid. Glucocorticoids stimulate gluconeogenesis, lipolysis, proteolysis, erythropoiesis, cardiovascular system, blood pressure, and glomerular filtration rate, and inhibit inflammatory reaction by suppressing the immune response. Mineralocorticoids regulate water and electrolyte contents of a body. Endocrine pancreas secrete glucagon and insulin. Glucagon stimulate glycogenolysis and gluconeogenesis, resulting in hyperglycemia. Insulin stimulates cellular glucose uptake and utilization. Glycogenesis resulting in hypoglycemia. Insulin deficiency or insulin resistance result in a disease called diabetes mellitus. The testes secrete androgen, which stimulate the development, maturation, and function of the male accessory sex hormones. Appearance of the male secondary sex characters, spermatogenesis, male sexual behavior, anabolic pathways, and erythropoiesis. Ovaries secrete estrogen and progesterone. Estrogen stimulates growth and development of female accessory sex organs and secondary sex characters. Progesterone play a major role in the maintenance of pregnancy as well as in the mammary gland development and lactation. Arterial wall of the heart, it produces arterial natriuretic factor which decreases the blood pressure. Kidney produces erythropoietin which stimulate erythropoiesis. Gastrointestinal tract secretes gastrin, secretin, cholecystokinin, gastric inhibitory peptide. These hormones regulate the secretion of digestive juice and help in digestion. So that's all about this chapter. If you're interested, please do like, share, and subscribe my channel. Okay, thank you.